That's right. There's actually this really funny Telegram group where people are just screaming at the bear market, basically just sharing voice messages of them screaming. Yeah, I could need that as well.
I need to find that video of how's it called, the guy who does all the cameos, Hard Rock Nick or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's screaming at this one, the original one.
I'm also unsure about announcing these dev calls. Like I didn't tag everyone this time. I don't know how other Discords handle it. Like I feel like tagging everyone for every weekly dev call is maybe a bit much. I don't know exactly. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Yeah, it's true that anyways the dev call is more for us to talk between each other. So I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like it can also be really helpful if like people from the general public kind of participate, right, to see what's going on, what's happening.
Yeah, true, true.
But anyway, whatever. Maybe I'll tag everyone again next time. Um, so yeah, let's just get started, I guess. So today we have like 5 things on the agenda. First of all, we have an update on v.NET SDK by Tomrox. Then we have an update on Arcane by Mist. Then II Captain is going to update us on the game clock. Takezo is going to update us on Deadly Games a bit. And DSI, I believe, has gained alpha access to a game on Starknet, so he was able to put some of the MEV stuff to use, I think, which is super interesting. Looking forward to hearing from that. But yeah, we can just get started with the .NET SDK, Tomrox.
Yeah, sure. You hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hi, guys. Um, so yeah, little update regarding the .NET SDK. Last 2 weeks, I've been trying to make my mind around that SDK and trying to think of the next milestone regarding its features. And so right now, I'm working on the account interface, having the possibility to create an account and make, first of all, basic transactions between accounts. So it involves signing the transaction and some hashing and stuff like that. Also, during those 2 weeks, I had the chance to think with Juanu, who is a senior .NET developer, and yeah, he guided me a bit on how on what's already the existing libraries in .NET, but interacting with Ethereum. And there is a nice example of a library called Nethereum. And yeah, I'll probably have a lot of help from there. I mean, they already have all the hashing methods, the signing methods. So yeah, trying to see how all this works and trying to make it work in my library. So yeah, like I mentioned, there is Juanu, who is slowly looking into the project and trying to help also. I think he wants to first focus on building a nice base for unit testing and integration tests. And yeah, apart from that, I also synced with Mist, who is interested in using the library in the future when it's working, but also interested in helping me build some basic Unity project around the library so people can easily test it with Unity and have some kind of base to start building their games. So yeah, that's the overall update. Hopefully, I figure out that account interface stuff quite quick, and I think we will be able to start doing some exciting stuff quite soon.
Awesome. That's great to hear, especially considering you've been kind of stuck like 2 weeks ago, and now it seems to progress along pretty nicely with the help from Juanu and Mist. That's really good to hear. Mist, can you actually elaborate a bit on what exactly you need the .NET SDK for, or like what parts of Arcane will use that?
Yeah, so it would use actually all the parts of Arcane, because that's how I'm like displaying the world inside the front end. I'm displaying all the tiles, so I'm reading the grid on chain, then seeing what are the values of the tiles in each slot of the multidimensional array, and then I'm spawning them through in Unity. And also it's just like overall it's a much better much more flexible UI interface for me, for the players, so I can do like, you know, crazy particle effects. It's much easier for me to scale up and down any kind of UI. So yeah, it makes my life so much easier to be able to trigger those transactions from Unity than just using you know, a React app or something. But yeah, I propose to Tomrocks that I can build like a super simple basic project that, you know, all of us can use just to try it out, or just to make some testing for the SDK. Like for me, it doesn't take me long, and if it helps out, then, you know.
I see. Yeah, sounds good. Like if that makes sense, for sure. Would love to see that. But I'm not going to be the judge on that, right? It's going to depend on.
It should be like fairly basic stuff. I mean, in terms of transactions that we're gonna trigger, but it's just so Tomrocks can test it without having to bother, you know, dealing with too much Unity problems at the same time. Otherwise, it can be a bit overwhelming.
Gotcha, makes sense. Yeah, sounds good. Really stoked to see the progress on the .NET SDK. That's really cool. Love to see it. And yeah, Mist, you can then actually just go ahead and give us a brief update on Arcane, like what you've been working on.
Yeah, so for Arcane this week, my plan is really finally I'm going to deploy the Arcane NFT contract to mainnet. So I'm super excited about that. I made all the changes. Thank God there was Sam, who also was a second pair of eyes, which is always very much needed. And also it's going to be time for me to set up a second website for Arcane that's going to be solely representing Starknet's manifestation of the game. So I'm kind of building all of this right now on the side. But the main interest for me is also that I'm starting to port the systems contract from the game, and actually looking into where I can use Starknet and do stuff that I couldn't do before on Arbitrum in the AVM. So for now it's mainly about randomization. It's something that I was super excited about when I came over to Starknet. It was to have more granular control of how much noise I could put in numbers here and there to give a little sense of organic in the numbers. So I'm looking forward to play with that, especially like first, of course, I used it now in the wizard generation. So when I generate when somebody mints a new wizard, it gives it a random stat, but also it's about when people are questing on tiles and they're getting a random type of events and loot, so to have some granularity in there. Of course, for now it's still pseudo random because I'm using the Ketchak 256 library, but hopefully, yeah, I made it so hopefully one day we can have an Oracle or something cheap that we can find some nice randomization. I mean, I guess all of you here who are doing games, it's one of the biggest problems, and I hope that all together we can find a cool solution for that, because, you know, I'm tired of trying to find funky stuff to put into Ketchak to blurry the tracks. So yeah, that's it. That's the update.
Awesome. Thank you. When you talk about blurring the tracks, do you mean like a fog of war kind of mechanic?
No, I mean like so it's we have some real randomization. So when I'm pulling, so when I'm randomizing stats for something, I know that nobody is going to be able to check the block number and basically, execute the transaction at the right time. So he will have some control on the output of the random.
I see. So it has to do with oracles, right? Like an oracle would be best for that.
Yeah. So for now, it's not that important, and I'm kind of like hiding it as much as I can. But yeah, I guess all of you have the same problem. It's difficult to have some randomization.
Yeah, it's like I think we're still waiting for Chainlink to come to Starknet. But there's also I think one other team working on oracles.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they have what's the name? I think they have a VRF out sometime soon. Like I don't know the exact time frame.
Pontis, right?
Yeah, I think that's them.
Yeah. But I talked to that guy. He said they have a he said like earliest is 9 months for us or something. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, Luis said something about built-in that he's working on, but he didn't give much details.
Yeah, or have like some kind of, I don't know, I'm sure it's possible, but to have some kind of delay system for transactions where I don't know, we wait for the next user to input something. If we're asking every user to input like a string, like a random string, or randomize it from the front end, and then you cannot get your transaction finished until the next user comes in. But I don't know, it sounds very complex, like for what we're trying to do.
I see. I was under the impression that Pontus would have it ready like sometime soonish, maybe 1 or 2 months. But if it's 9 months, that's kind of bad. Maybe we'll ask them again what's the status. But yeah, I can definitely see how that's a problem for sure. Like DSI, for example, would have a field day with that. Like he would exploit the shit out of it. But yeah, thank you for the updates, Miss. It's great to see progress, even if it's like not something you can like show off or present, right? It's still interesting to hear about it and talk about it. So thank you for that. Next up, we have Game Clock by II Captain. You have a good update for us.
Yeah, so there is an update. So basically, so there were two ways to proceed, and one was to dynamically create Cairo contract, which would go ahead and run that smart contract automation. And the other way was so the advantage of doing something like this is that the gas fees for each task is limited to that contract. The other way is to have a centralized tree kind of structure and have that call the smart contract that needs to be called on regular basis. So these two things I went ahead and discussed. So I was initially going forward for just one of them, but now I talked to Peter and decided to go with both of them instead. So the person can go ahead and choose. The advantage of having dynamic creation and deployments of smart contract is that there's a different fee. The gas fee associated with different contract is different. So the gas fees is separated, and but the gas fees is more like all the tasks are if do something like that, the cumulative gas fees would be more. But the first way, the cumulative gas fees would be less, more efficient. So yeah, both of them. And the first, the whitelisting, the whitelisting of the addresses is completed, and the code can be found on my repo. The other part, I'm still testing with with the new code, and the new code, yeah, I'm still testing, but I'm still have to wait a little bit till Yagi is properly functional, and the fund and unfund mechanisms can only happen when Yagi allows for that. So that's one thing. The one thing I also struggled with was that there's no interface for one contract to call another contract. So there is no interface for contract B. So how do you call contracts without interface? So there is something in the accounts library. There is a raw contract call, which is basically calling those contracts raw. So I'm still figuring that out, and yeah, that's about it. So then testing is still left. So yeah, that's the update so far.
Thank you so much. What does this mean exactly in terms of the completion of a project? Because you said like a month ago or so it would take you 2 more weeks to complete, and now it's taking a bit longer. That's perfectly fine. I just want to know, is there any kind of big issue, big roadblock for you, or is it like doable to finish this?
Yeah, so I did say 2 weeks, but that was little like I assumed that I would be able to finish it in 2 weeks at the time. Uh, and yeah, it is taking a little longer. So multiple things. So the gas fees being introduced. So the fund and unfund mechanisms were a little bit more complex than I thought. The scheduling part, I was right on track, and that's still there. So I think it will still take me around about a month to complete. I'm really sorry for that, but yeah, yeah, I will try to finish this as soon as possible. And I will post updates on the channel, like regular updates on the channel from now on.
Okay, thank you for the update. That's fine. Like the most important thing is that you are able to complete it, right? That you're not running into some huge roadblock that would hinder the completion of a project, right? So that's really what we care about. So that's great to hear. Thank you for the update.
Yeah, I also like to like I was hitting some blocks, but thanks to Peter, like those got resolved. So really, he helped me a lot. So thanks for that. He's not on the call, but I just want to mention it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Great to hear. Then we can move on unless there are any questions or so. We can move on to Deadly Games. And Takezo, you can tell us a bit about what's been going on with Deadly Games.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Hope you're okay. Keep holding. Yeah. Like we had some good progress in the project side. I'll start with those. We started talks with a local investor, and they're like they now have a big fund for games, and I'm both giving them some info about Starknet and why it's should be the future of gaming here, etc. And also we're right now busy with creating a pitch deck for them. So I can say it looks optimistic, but I'm not sure if we can find a good way that to be investable and venturable. So we're at that point and looking at that. Also, we had 2 new members joining. One of them is a copywriter. She's gonna have 2 products she's responsible of. One is in a format of a diary. It's going to be the diary of father. It's a character in our lore. And one of them is going to be like a news bulletin thing. And it will be the Sin City news, where it's it's the location of the lore. So yeah, we're gonna work on the first sample this week and hopefully start publishing these on Monday. And also the second person is she's an experienced product manager owner. So we needed a bit more organization in the team, and she was interested for a long time. So we started working together, and it's going really well. And also we created a research team of 2 people for now, but we want this thing to be a tool to be integrate with the community. They're going to be researching about things we can use on the games, like things from behavioral economics subjects, or information asymmetry. We want games to be felt like kind of a social experiment at the end, where you learn something about behavior of the community. So yeah, 2 people are gonna be gathering these kind of things together and presenting to the whole team to for them to generate new ideas for the games. And also on the development side, I feel like I'm done with the Solidity part. I don't want the contracts to be upgradable, so I wanted to make sure to check everything with the layer 2 as well. So it went smooth. I'm just gonna change some stuff because one of the assets is a dynamic one. Means it's gonna be revealed in time with games, game announcements. So I'm gonna have to updating some stuff on both layers when this happens. So yeah, it's gonna use Kajak for that. Yeah. Yeah, this is it for now. I was like more busy with onboarding and this stuff than developing, but I planned a month for Solidity part, and it's almost done. So yeah, it's on time, maybe even better.
Awesome. Thank you for the update. I think it's really interesting the kind of focus on the behavioral part of the games, right? So I think that's a really good idea to have some people research interesting kind of mechanics, I guess, to implement in your games. I think that's a really good idea and could have some interesting implications.
Yeah, that was like the core thing that excited us at the beginning, and along the way, it was kind of forgotten. So it's a good thing that we have committed people right now.
And you mentioned to me that you wanted to showcase the kind of unbundling experience from the
Yeah, I had some like silly troubles on the front end side, but I solved them eventually. But that can happen next week, I guess. Right now I'm at the basics, doing the connection and calling some stuff, but yeah, I need more time to showcase.
Can you briefly talk about what exactly you want to showcase, like the bridging part, or like what exactly?
Yeah, the bridging experience. I mean, it's not gonna be news for anybody, just to show something about the part that's finished.
No, sure, that's fine. Would love to see that. But yeah, that's cool. Just so we know that you're working on that. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, next up we have DSI. You got alpha access to, was it Realms? I don't actually know which game it was. Can you talk a bit about it?
Yeah, so it was Realms, which deployed their control I don't know when, but I got access very recently, a few days ago. And yeah, so I immediately started digging into the game. So I started maybe 3 days ago or something, and I've been basically testing the game, reading the contracts, making like a little bit of code, and testing some dynamics of the game. And so yeah, I think I can basically talk about how the game works, so that we are like I don't have to explain it at every call, and that's basically what I've been doing. And I think I have a few interesting ideas that I can dig in for later calls. So basically, I've been reading all the rules of the game, and basically the goal is to so you build your realms. You can form alliances. You can harvest resources, which is right now the main thing in the game, with maintaining and defending your realm. And you can also raid and steal other people's resources. And harvesting, defending, and raiding are the main thing in the game right now. And I also think it's very interesting how the contracts are made, because you can basically plug a new extension into the game and completely change how the game works. But right now, this is what we have, and yeah, very excited to dig into it. So how the game will work is that you will stake your realm, which is now on L1, but will be on L2 later. You will then enter the game, and how the game will work is that each realm have a few statistics, which are the regions, cities, river, harbor, and population, and troops. And this will be important to build your realm. This statistic will be important later. A realm also have a happiness score, and this will be very important, I think, in the how people play the game, because this happiness score will determine how much lords your realm is going to mint or to farm. And you can basically change it with how you build on your realm and how you manage it. And then yeah, you can also build on it. So you have many different building, which we'll see later, I think. To build, you need resources. Your realm create resources. So this is like in the metadata of the realm. Each realm have specific resources that can be created and minted. And yeah, when you stake your realm, it starts accruing resources, which is specific to the realm, and start accruing lords, which is linked to the happiness of your realm. And the happiness is dynamic, so it will change over time. So about the statistics. So the happiness is based on food, culture, army cap, industry, and population, which are statistics that are linked to how you manage your realm. So I made a little Excel sheet to see how this work all together. So here the realm example I have is this one, which have these cities and region, etc. Those are all the buildings that can be built on your realm. And so they each affect food, culture, and each statistic like this. And basically, let's say I want to build a fairground. You just copy paste it here, and you see it change. So I had before, so all statistics start at 25, and your population is at 1,000, and you start with a happiness of 100, with no food penalty and no culture penalty. So you will have some penalty if you have if your realm have too few food for the population. So this is like a built-in the game. I don't think it's interesting to dig into that specific things, but basically you will build things and it will change how your realm, the happiness of your realm, it will then change the production. So building into the game, how you build in your realm can be very interesting. And if you build just whatever, we'll quickly start. So right now the happiness is at 150, and this is the maximum you can get. So if I keep building, even if I keep getting food, don't change anything. But let's say I just increase the population and decrease the food. We quickly have a too big population, and I will start having some food penalty. And you see that my happiness was decreasing 1 by 1 before, and it will start decreasing 2 by 2 and even more. Yeah, even more. So this is how building works in Realms. Yeah, and this happiness and how you build on your realm will affect the production of lords. So yeah, quite important variable into the game. Another variable will be the resources. So yeah, those are quite specific detail into the game, but basically you will have resources on your realm, and a portion of that resources can be raided. So yeah, how I see it is that you will have some realms that will focus on just raid other people and steal their resources, and other people will just focus on having a good defense, good yeah, just winning raids, winning defense, and just keeping all their resources for them, while other people that want to raid and focus on raiding will have, for example, a low defense and just have a big army, because basically when you build something, you focus on a statistic, and you have just a limit. You have a limit about a limit of building that you can build on your realm. So you have to focus on something, and you can build it all. So yeah, we'll see how the game will evolve, but I have a few ideas I can discuss later. So yeah, basically what I just said, you can build to increase your culture, food, army cap, and you have a maximum capacity of your realm. And yeah, a few strategies that I see right now. So first is a realm that optimizes for defense. It could be a realm that have a very scarce resources, and that other people will want to raid scarce resources. So I think this kind of realm might optimize for defense, optimize for happiness, and just optimize for farming in general, like idle style of gaming. And at the contrary, realm with very abundant resources, like stone or wood, they don't really care about getting raided and losing their resources, so they might optimize for just raiding other people, building big army and a very strong army, and just trying to steal other resources, like the rare one. And a third strategy would be to balance everything. And yeah, right now those are just ideas, and I plan to see what people do on chain and how people play the game. But this is the ideas I have while reading the documentation and just starting to play the game. And so what I've been doing right now is, so I've been making some code, So right now it's very basic code, like adding a few functions to the game, like harvest all resources, which is not possible yet, or just a few helper, but really basic functions. I plan to add more and like see what can be useful to the game. I also want to find a way to quantify the value of happiness. Right now, we don't really have a price for each resources, or we don't really have specific data for each statistic and what is better than another. But I think it can be interesting to give a value to happiness and see, like, is it worth sacrificing a lot of building to have an happiness at 150, or is it better to have a balance? Or yeah, I think it can be interesting to see this. And the building are still being thought, so it's not like it's still discussion with the Realm team. So yeah, we'll see how this evolves. And another big thing I want to do is to explore on-chain what other people are doing. Yeah, just see how they play the game. This is something I have not done yet, but that's definitely something I wanna document, and yeah, maybe making a website to see how people are managing their realms and etc. So yeah, that's basically what I've been working on at the moment, and yeah, I'm really excited to continue working on that and to answer any question or if you have any comment.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the update. That was really interesting to actually see how the Rams game is going to kind of look like and work like. In terms of the raids, they can only raid resources, right? So they can't like kill or destroy or steal your realm or something like that. It's just about a part of the resources, correct?
Yeah, correct. And I just realized I forgot to share my screen. I had I prepared some slide and an Excel sheet, so you didn't see anything I shared here. Damn, sorry. So
Okay.
yeah, sorry. So basically, yeah, this was the Excel I was talking about, with the food penalty and the happiness decreasing, the buildings. Yeah, I will share this on the Discord so that you can see.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. It's no big deal. It's fine. That's really interesting. Are there any other slides apart from this? Like apart from the... Okay.
I mean, yeah, like just the slide. I mean, those are all the resources. Yeah, that was the most important one, I think.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I would love to see that in the channel later on, so anybody can take a look at it. That would be great. But also, are you allowed to share this information actually, like publicly, or are you gonna get in trouble?
No. I asked a lot of you if you want, like, if I had to order something bad, and he said no, I can just share anything.
Okay, cool, awesome.
And most of this is public on the website as well.
Okay, I see. Makes sense. Yeah, really cool. Look forward to see you dig in more, and once you get like more data, I think it's going to be super interesting. And also looking forward to see you write that report at some point in the future to lay it all out, right? Also, once you get access to more games and stuff, I think it's going to be super interesting, and it's probably even going to catch many people off guard in terms of what you can really do with like bots and code in these on-chain games. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, that's it for today. Do we have any questions for any of the people that we have here?
I just wanted to add one thing. It's just that if anyone has done a raw account to contract call, like I need a little bit help with that, but it's all right. I can figure it out as well. And if anyone I saw that someone needs help with front end and stuff, so just reach out to me and I would love to help with that as well.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. If we have nothing else, then we can wrap it up. One more point. Actually, two more points. The no game the no game has actually made some really good progress lately, and Alex wanted to present that already last week, but he somehow just stopped responding, so we haven't heard from him in like over a week. So we don't exactly know what's going on. Maybe something happened to him or stuff like we don't know what's going on. And it's pretty unusual because he was very enthusiastic, and we know he really participated and he coded. Like the code is live. He published it on Twitter as well. So we are really kind of a bit confused right now what's going on with him. We'll try to figure it out. But we would be super happy to show you guys the progress of No Game because it's like one of the most advanced games that we have in Matchbox. So we'll try to figure out what's going on there. If anybody of you knows if something happened to him, then please tell us so we know. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer that we don't exactly know what's going on with him. That being said, on Friday we are planning to hold a big community call where basically everybody is invited. So it's not going to be a dev call. The grantees don't really need to present anything, but it's meant to basically update the whole community about what Matchbox is doing, like I did in the last dev call briefly, outline all of the developments we've made over the past weeks and months. And it would be great if you guys can join, if we have our grantees there to maybe ask questions or to just be there and listen to what we've been working on. We have some update posts planned that we will publish with more information as well, so you can read it as well instead of just hearing it or listening to it. But yeah, it would be great if you could be there on Friday. It's going to be Friday, 5 p.m. CT, like always. And we will most likely also have like the teams that we partnered with there, so Exofium, iCar, and so on. Yeah, it's just going to be one big call talking about all the different things we've been working on, all of the updates, just to get the community a bit more involved, to update you guys. Yeah, it's also going to be a bit about the contribution system. We've worked with the Only Dust guys a bit. They're planning for an for basically an on-chain NFT reputation system that can automatically pull data from GitHub. So if you code something on GitHub, we can verify that basically and attest that to your NFT as a badge or something. So it's a really cool system. We plan on using that. We also plan on using Wonderverse, which is this contribution platform where anybody can come in and suggest like ideas or tasks, and if you complete them, we can reward you in different ways. And that's all of the things we are going to walk through on Friday and update all of the people there. So it would be really, really great if you could join, just so even for yourself, so you can stay up to date with what's going on, and maybe talk a bit, just participate a bit, ask questions, that kind of stuff. So that's on Friday, 5 p.m. CT. We'll of course announce this on Discord ahead of time. Potentially also announce it on Twitter. But yeah, that's it. I hope to see you there. It's going to be great. And yeah, take care. Have a great day. Don't get liquidated. Keep holding.
Cheers, guys.
All right.
We're in this together.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Great.
Bye bye.
Bye.